Hello, my name is Mike Krasowitz, and I've created an art game, a game of art and a game of chance. I'll try to explain this whole thing and show you the game board and explain my concept in the video to follow. Welcome, and I hope this is interesting for you. The first stage of creating the game was to create the game board. I will demonstrate the game board here. And what it is, it's a grid of 5/8 inch squares, 5/8 inch by 5/8 inch. And in the center, as you can see here, I can find it here, is the number 1. And what I've done is I've created an image where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it spirals out. So the succeeding numbers spiral out. Each one of these numbers relates to a roll of the dice. I'll explain this in a sec. The game pieces are in 11 envelopes. Each envelope contains a set of game pieces. The game pieces are a series of gray tones, from very, very light gray to black. Each square piece is 5/8 of an inch by 5/8 of an inch. I created this in Photoshop, I printed them out, and I cut them into these little squares. Very simple. Okay, so now I'm going to roll the dice, and it's going to give me a number. Okay, so I just rolled them, and I'll show you. And where's the other die? Over there. It's 11, okay? So number 1, the first roll of the die, is 11. Okay, so now I'm going to take the 11 bag, and I'm going to take that color tile, which is I'm doing here. Here's the 11 bag, and it's this gray. Okay? Alright, so that's the 11, that's the number 11 gray. Okay? Now I'm going to take that, and I'm going to glue it onto the game board in square number 1. I'll do that, and I'll show you in just a sec. Okay, as you can see, where square number 1 was, I took that number 11 gray and I pasted it down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this. I'm going to roll the dice, and whenever number comes up, I'm going to take the color, the tone of gray, and I'm going to tape it into that spot. Now the idea is that I'm going to make a picture. An image is going to emerge from this based on chance relationships. So I'm going to continue this. I'm going to do about 500 of these squares with 500 rolls of the dice and see what image comes up. This is what I call a game of chance, a picture of chance. And we'll see what happens. Okay, I've only been at this about 10 minutes so far, but as you can see, I've done up to frame 17. And so far, it doesn't look like anything, but if I pull back, as you can see, I'm going to try to fill this grid as best I can and see if some kind of image emerges. But I guess even if it's totally abstract, if I'm wondering if maybe a face will emerge, which would be very interesting if it did. But if it's just totally abstract, I guess that would be interesting as well. When I'm done with it, I'm going to do about another 50 or so, and then I'll come back and see if we have any observations so far. Hi. It's about 4 days since I last posted or started recording this the game demonstration for my art game, and I would like to do now is to show you the completed game board. This is the first game board that I've completed, and again it's based on random throw of the dice. I guess if you've been watching the video you got that whole thing, but this is what the completed image looks like. And what I did was I also put a legend on the other side here, which shows the different tones and the different numbers that they correlated to. So this is it. On the next video I will talk a little bit about what I think, my observations about it and what I think about it, but this was the first try. I think it's kind of interesting, and please stay tuned for the next video, and because I don't want to go on too long about this, and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm going to do next and some of the observations and how you can make your own game board.